IBA Prepworks is formally an aptitude test preparation institute, but more broadly, it is a network of students and instructors providing advice and support to prospective students. IBA Prepworks is almost a year old, started by Haroon, Shehzad and Sama Maqbool. It has a success rate of 80% for tutored students into either of the top 3 universities of their choice. Family perspective. In order to understand the story of Haroon and IBA Prepworks, we need to know the environment in which the idea was born. Haroon's family was more job-oriented. Haroon's father and all his uncles were working men. They preferred the security of the 9-to-5 corporate routine and how it allows you to maintain a stable lifestyle. They feared the instability of investing your time in a business venture and recommended focusing on internship and corporate career building to Haroon as well. Haroon's family wasn't very worried about the financial requirements of a business venture and possibility of a financial loss. Instead, their primary concern was that Haroon would lose out on the precious time he had at a prestigious institute like IBA and the repercussions that could have in the future. Personal motivations. Haroon had different plans during his gap year. He worked at a chartered accountancy firm owned by a family friend. This friend too had worked for another chartered accountancy company before initiating his own venture. Over the period of his employment, Haroon saw the firm's clients rise steadily from shaky beginnings. Haroon was inspired to initiate his own startup directly by the journey of this family friend and his small chartered accountancy firm.
You just used to tell me one thing, when you can improve, when you can increase your outcome by your own, तो आप किसी और के लिए काम करोगे. If you are working 8 hours a day, you are getting the same pay from the job. If you are going to work 12 hours a day, तब भी आपको एक ही जॉब मिलेगी. But if you do that 4 hours extra at your business, you might increase your income, you might increase your potential, you might grow. So he used to taught me that at the young age you can take challenges. You can't expect कि आप 30 से 40 से 45 के हो गए, then you will initiate something. Because at that point you will have responsibilities which you have to cover in whatsoever the situation is. You will be having kids, you will be having family जो आप पे dependent होगी, या they will be expecting you to fulfill the duty. So this is the very initial stage जहाँ पे आप risk ले सकते हो. You have the potential to grow again, you have the potential to stand up again. So at that point I realized that I will at least initiate something. I will work on someone's idea at least ताकि मैं जब अगर नहीं हो पाया तो I can move to another idea or I can start something. I had this vision in my mind कि इस सीधा था दिमाग में कि I will do something, I will start something on my own. I won't be doing the same job or same direction as.
COVID and unique opportunity to execute. While the pandemic was something extremely stressful to go through, it gave Haroon the time needed to focus on IBA Prepworks. The decreased workload and the break from assessments gave Haroon a chance to lay the foundation for IBA Prepworks. Haroon and his partner worked day and night to turn their dreams into reality. The first 20 days went towards ironing out details like their business model, syllabus, marketing, and the name that they would select. Planning. Haroon and his partner had several discussions about how they should execute the plan, the pros and cons, possibilities and opportunities of how realistic the elements of their plan would be. They acknowledged that they were competing against some very big players in the market, hence the first step was to create brand awareness and to market themselves in a slightly different manner than their competitors. They started a Facebook page for IBA Prepworks but realized that growth on a platform like Facebook would be faster through engagement and mentions on Facebook groups. They created a group a year ago called IBA Admission Updates to help prospective students with their application process. This grew to over 4,500 members and eventually into a WhatsApp group for one-on-one queries. This helped them gain awareness, recognition, and a closeness to their possible customers that would become the platform for them to launch their brand. Time management. When the new academic session began, Haroon and his partner realized that managing both their own academic responsibilities and the responsibilities that came with IBA Prepworks is no longer an easy task. Haroon and his partner had to work a lot on their time management skills and had no room for procrastination. Physical location. They gradually developed a possible customer network, but they still didn't have a physical premise from which to conduct the classes. First, they tried to rent out a possible premise. They found an individual willing to offer a space in his own institute for IBA Prepworks. But at this stage, it was just a verbal agreement. When it came to formalizing this agreement, however, this person changed his terms to include that Haroon and his partner's operation would be run under his business's name. Haroon recognized that this affiliation could possibly stifle future growth, the possibility at creating a distinct and individual brand, as well as his general skepticism that the individual would continue to dictate such unfair terms for IBA Prepworks. Haroon promptly ended the agreement thence. Challenges. There were 3 major challenges that IBA Prepworks had to face in the beginning. Number 1. The response from their target audience was slow at first. It took a while to build the trust of their audience. Number 2. The biggest challenge was finding a place to set up the institute. Haroon came very close to finalizing a deal, but it fell through, and they were left without a place to set up their institute. Number 3. During the initial stages of IBA Prepworks, they offered payments that could be made in installments. But a lot of the people paid one installment and then refused to respond to calls and text when the next payment was due. Target market. Target market included students, high school grads. They conduct demo classes so that students can make an informed decision. The fees structure follows their ideology, quality education at the lowest price point. They paid their teachers really well. 5,000 profit from each student for 3 months was the revenue. No profit made in the first 5-7 months as classes and interview preparation was offered for free initially. Friends and classmates from IBA helped make the first few months. Strength. Lower prices than their competitors. A strong follower base from QA Facebook group. Weaknesses. Lack of experience. Inability to manage time effectively. Not yet well established. Yet to build a brand image. Most triumphant moment. Success rate of 80% in the first year. Most defeated moment. Backing out of person who verbally agreed on renting physical space for institute right before when the entrepreneur was about to launch the location. Setup was disturbed, growth was hindered, and it took a lot of time to settle and find a new space.